What's good, y'all? Elite Media, Brandon B. I'm back with another one, y'all. Salute to everybody out there. Thank you all for pulling up. We here, man. It's a little late tonight, but we doing what we gotta do because I'm just going off for the strength. You know what I'm saying? We doing what feels right. We're going for just off the field things. I'm trying to keep my topics fresh, and I'm also trying to do fresh things and different topics. So that's why we're here today. Today was the resting day of your brother, the one and only Mr. Fred Hampton. R.I.P. Long live Fred Hampton. Today was the day where he was unalived by the federal government, and I felt like it was important to make sure that we took some time to send our condolences and also do a remembrance show about such a iconic Black American figure in our American space. I feel like sometimes, especially right now, there's a lot of people who are kind of, definitely more so feeling the pride within themselves as Black Americans, right? And so it's important for us to make sure that we pay homage to the icons and the people who paved the way for us, right? The ones who are out there, boots on the ground, making a difference, the ones who are setting the trends, the ones who are the number one, right? And so I felt like, from my perspective, on December 4th, the day where Fred Hampton was unalived, I felt like it was really great to make sure that I got on here and did my condolences and also did a live stream talking about him, talking about what he represented, and also trying to bring up just, some reverence, right? To make sure that all of us are not letting him or his name go in vain. You feel me? And so I feel like it was important for me and to use my platform to make sure that I am keeping these people's words and lives still here, right? Even if they are not here with us physically. I thought it was important for me to make sure that I hopped on here and made sure that I gave my condolences first, right? Because it's important to make sure that we always respect our ancestors and the ones who, paved the way and paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. So my condolences to Fred Hampton and his family. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all the family, the Blackpanthers out there. Thank you so much for everything that you guys did for us. So I thought it was important for me to be able to use my platform to bring something to the table, making sure that we're keeping my man's legacy alive, making sure that we are still here, making sure that we are still pressing forward for a man who did so much for us as foundational Black Americans, right? So salute to everyone out there. Thank you guys. So I wanted to kind of start by making sure that, we give him his space to speak in his own words, right? So I wanted to kind of, bring up this video where it kind of has like a compilation of his speeches. We can kind of listen to some speeches. We can, do some reactions to kind of what he's speaking on and just trying to, put our own, vibes to this. So I wanted that to be bigger, like that. So let's go, man. Let's hear Fred Hampton in his own words. Let's hear it.
A lot of people don't understand Black Panther Party's relationship with white mother country radicals. A lot of people don't even understand that word that they're refused a lot. So what we're saying is that there are white people in the mother country that are for the same type of thing that we are for stimulating revolution in the mother country. And we said that we'll work with anybody, form coalition with anybody that has revolution on their mind.
And I think this was what it was at first. Fred Hampton was a true believer in making sure that whoever was in support of the revolution, he wanted to be a part of that. And it's just so unfortunate, what has happened, in the day and age where now, Black Americans have had to delineate because of, just exactly what was going on, in America right now. You know what I'm saying? Where everyone is anti-Black American, and we have seen, people using Black American culture, talking down on Black American culture, not really respecting our culture. And so now, we've kind of gotten into this place where now Black Americans have had to come within ourselves and within our own and staying within our own. And I think, now if we were to look back, I think Fred Hampton would definitely not be pleased with how you know, the African diaspora has treated Black Americans up to this point, because he was really, really pro help to the ones who needed it and who supported the revolution.
We're not a racist organization because we understand that racism is an excuse used for capitalism. And we know that racism is a byproduct of capitalism. Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people.
And we're still talking about this till today, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that back when Fred Hampton was, you know, this is a man who at this time was probably only 19 years old, right? You know what I'm saying? And he was out here speaking about what, you know, in my opinion, was things that were really, really going on in our community and how we actually could be able to make a difference, right? And you got to think, like, in 1969, this was the height of what was going on in our community. And so him being an integral figure at that time, right, was something that I think, you know, is astounding to me, because he was just such a young man. And I mean, to think that he's still saying things that we're still saying today, right, is giving the power back to the people, right? Because we're the ones who are going to take care of this, because we need to take care of one another. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody in the state of Illinois is going to have to be involved or even around the revolution, because we're going to have one. We're going to have to do more than talk. We're going to have to do more than listen. We're going to even have to do more than learn. We're going to have to start practicing, and that's very hard. We got to start learning, and you learn through practice. We got to start making mistakes, and you learn through making mistakes. We got to start getting out there with the people. And a lot of times we think we're better than the people. That's an insult, and that's criminal. Think you're better than the people. We got to get together and learn where it's at.
And you see a lot of that these days, right? There's a lot of, you know, influencers and people who are supposed to be helping, you know, the people are now starting to think that they're better than the people who they should be helping, right? And it's unfortunate, because we've been seeing that a lot in, you know, kind of just the modern day internet, where you have people who have, you know, amassed all these, you know, insane numbers, insane views, insane platforms, and they are indebted to the people who have put them there. But a lot of times they feel like now they're better than them after they receive what they wanted out of whatever that may have been, right? And I think, you know, Fred Hampton is really speaking on that right here. Listen to this.
Take a lot of hard work. Education for children is something else. You ought to dig on it. Every sister in this audience. Every sister in this audience ought to get themselves together and come on down and help us with that Breakfast for Children program. Y'all ought to come down and help feed them children in the morning.
Now, look, this is at the time, like I said, this is in the 60s. 1969 was the day that he passed away, December 4th, 1969, right? So him creating the first, okay, there was no meal plans, no free lunches, no nothing before Fred Hampton created this program for the Black American youth, right? There was no programs at all before Fred Hampton did this, guys. This is one of the things that Black Americans do, right? We set trends because of what we had to do, right? It was important. It was imperative that Fred Hampton took care of his people, right? So him creating a breakfast and meal program, reaching out to also, well, the community, asking the women of the community, hey, we need you guys to come in the morning to come and feed these babies, right? And we need to get back to this, because a lot of people are going to be struggling right now. And that's why I always try to make it clear, you know, on my channel, that I do, with my family, run a food bank here in Long Beach for people in need, right? And it's important that I make that clear, because that is something that needs to be open, right? We need to be here helping one another. And if we have the resources and also the outreach to do it, we must use our platforms to be able to connect and help one another, right? So that's why I was like, man, just think about this. Being a young man, you know, Fred Hampton at this time was probably no more than 18, 19 years old. And he's already talking about creating meal plans for the youth in his community, right? Think about the maturity of a man like this, right?
We have breakfast for children because we teach the people through practice, through observation and participation, that people can be fed free, That's the people thing. Socialism is the people. You're afraid of yourself. If you're afraid of socialism, you're afraid of yourself. We know they have our pictures. We know they're looking for us. We know they want us. But we're still saying that even though we could be in a fit, as far as this system goes, on the mountaintop, we in the Black Panther Party, because of our dedication and understanding what's in the valley, knowing that the people in the valley, knowing that we originally came from the valley.
This is what we're talking about, guys. We are the people of that valley, the original people, Black Americans. At this time, the consciousness of what guys like Fred Hampton were speaking on was directly to the people, because that was exactly all we had. And it's all we still have. And I think that's why a lot of Black Americans have shifted their mindset over this time, where it's like, yes, like, sure, we definitely wanted to connect with everyone in the diaspora. We wanted to connect with everyone who came over here from a different country, but it just didn't happen for us. And so once we realized that that just wasn't going to be the reality, especially after just what happened with Donald Trump just receiving the new presidency, it woke up a lot of people, and it took that mask off for a lot of Black Americans. And it made them wake up and realize, actually, it's us, and it's always just been us. And so, yeah, when you have people like who are so iconic and so forward thinking, like Fred Hampton, such a forward thinker, to think about, hey guys, if there's a program or if there's something that we have to create, it has to start right here on the grassroots, right? The people of the valley, us, Black Americans, right? The real children of Judah. You feel me? And so it's crazy that, you know, sometimes, you know, people talk and they talk about history, but they don't sit back and actually listen to what these people were saying at this time. That's why I love to use this platform, because, you know, I see a lot of people, other content creators, you know, they have their own lanes, but I feel like my lane, I'm always going to bring receipts, and I'm always going to bring historical references so that all of us can be able to enjoy it, right? Because this is what it's for, right? These archives are here for us to enjoy. So we need to make sure that it stays in the consciousness of Black Americans, right? What these guys were saying, the think tanks and the understanding that they had, it needs to stay alive. It cannot die. And that's why I'm going to use my platform as much as I can. Whoever comes and enjoys this, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But I'm going to make sure that I continue to bring these archives and bring these important facts for all of us to be able to enjoy. So let's continue to listen, man.
Knowing that our flag is the same flag as the people in the valley. Knowing that our enemy is on the mountaintop, our friends in the valley. We say, even though it's nice to be on the mountaintop, we're going back to the valley. I be in the office every day. I be in the streets propagandizing every day. I be working with everybody every day. I be teaching that solidarity is the thing.
That's what we're supposed to be doing every day. You feel me? That's the dedication it takes to fight against white supremacy. You cannot let a day go by without calling it out, without using something, being productive in your community, trying your best to push this forward for all of us, right? And like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm a part of personally, and I take a lot of pride in that because I'm boots on the ground. I'm actually out here doing the work, and I'm actually using my platform to grow, because all that does, once you grow this platform, it grows everything else around me. And that's the point. Nowadays, when you want to connect with people, you have to do it here on the internet. You have to figure out a way to connect with that community. And so that's the point of me doing this, is to connect with that community so that we can continue to grow, so that we can help one another and continue to grow within the Black American community. All I'm thinking about is that. That is my goal with this. My direction and what we're going to be doing with Elite Media is creating the platform so that we can connect with other Black Americans, so that we can go ahead and build. Because that's what the Panthers were doing. They were building. And Fred Hampton being a threat to white supremacy and the construct of what the capitalistic mindset was, him being so powerful at such a young age, it scared the living crap out of them people, and they could not handle it, right? Imagine being this young talking this type of talk.
The end of a complete wipeout of imperialism is the thing. So if you're going to be thinking about me, that's what Bobby would be teaching. If you're going to be thinking about us, all we say is ain't no thing about going nowhere, getting killed. All we want to know is that you're doing what we'd be doing if we were here. And you got to do that. You can't do it unless you believe that you can do it. In the spirit of liberation, we understand that they want everybody in the party in jail. And we know that if we try to figure out and separate and divide who should go and who shouldn't go, we spend more time doing that than working for the people.
There you go. And that's what happens. There's more focus on dividing us, right? Especially within our communities. That's the goal, right? The goal of white supremacy is when we see Black Americans building, when we see Black Americans working together, when we see Black Americans trying to do something productive, we're going to go out of our way to make sure that we can go ahead and remove that. And at the same time, try to infiltrate those organizations, try to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to take away the potency, right? The Black Panthers at such a very young age and such a pivotal time. Like I said, this is during the 1960s. All right. And this is during a time where Fred Hampton was about 18 years old. So when you having that much power, did you see the state? Look at all these people, right? Look at that. That is power, guys. That is what unity looks like, right? And being able to have that level of influence is straight up scary to these people. They can't handle it. They think that, okay, sweet, we'll be able to control whoever we can control, but they know what's going on when they're doing this type of stuff. Continue to listen, guys.
So the quick solution, the speedy one, nobody goes. Nobody goes. We all stay right here. With the people. Because we love the people. Okay, you can put your hands down now. We say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power.
You got to understand, man, at this time, like the brother was speaking not only for himself, he was saying you can have pride in whoever you are, but at the same time, Black Americans having pride in who we are, apparently nowadays is something that, you know, makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And you know what? A lot of us are getting tired of that shit. You feel me? And it's pretty obvious that a lot of Black Americans have used their platforms to make sure that we're pressing the line on the BS that's been going on. And we ain't got time for people who have been infiltrating this movement, who have found time to make confusion, right? To start conversations that have nothing to do with the overall plans and goals, right? So from my perspective, when I'm coming on here, I'm making sure that we stay on code, that I'm making sure that we are locked in with what our ancestors was on, making sure that our think tanks are in the right spot. Because when we're getting, you know, people, this is becoming a hot topic, right? Trending topic. Yeah, we're going to start seeing a lot of people just grifting, a lot of people talking, but ain't doing no work. And that's why it's important that we vet these people correctly, that we make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize, studying, right? And indoctrinating ourselves in the right mentalities. You feel me? Fred Hampton. Long live Fred Hampton.
Power to yellow people. Black power to black people. X power to those that we left out. We say Panther power to the Vanguard Party. When you leave here saying the last word, before you go to bed, night time, I'm a revolutionary. Make that the last word. In case you don't wake up, then somebody might believe it and you might, you know, end up in what they call a revolutionary happy hunting ground. Say that. I'm a revolutionary. Say it when you're going out. Everybody wants to get to the knees. Okay, we're going to say it while we're going out. And we're going to start a thing called Free Fred. Don't that sound nice? Hey, let's do that. Free friends. Free friends. Free friends. Free friends. Hey, I ain't even in jail yet. When they got together, you used to do this Bobby Seals. Yes, they got together with guns, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because we need some guns. Black people need some peace. White people need some peace. And we are going to have to fight. We're going to have to struggle. We're going to have to struggle relentlessly to bring about some peace.
That's what it gotta take, y'all. I done told y'all, man, it's a lot of people who are a part of this overall construct in America that fought for this. And that's what makes our mentality different from everyone else in the diaspora, is the fact that Black Americans are natural fighters. We fought for what we wanted, and we fought for what we believed in, and we're willing to continue to fight. We have the overall longevity and the endurance to keep going as long as it takes to be able to be free. And so when you have people like this, Fred Hampton, who was speaking that talk, who was empowering Black Americans to be able to take up arms and be able to take care of their communities, be able to put that on their back and say, you know what, we're going to clean up our streets. There wasn't a lot of people who was doing that at such a young age and was so influential. Word to power, for real, man. Just an iconic person.
Because the people that we're asking for peace, they're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers, and they don't even understand what peace means. And we've got to fight them. We've got to struggle with them to make them understand what peace means. Bobby Seale is going through all types of physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution.
And this is just facts, y'all. Like, they can try to co-op, they can try to cosplay, they can try their best to imitate, but you could never have the sauce. You will never have the recipe. All right. As much as people want to act like they know who we are and they know what we about to do, they have no clue, man. It cannot be stopped. The movement, the mentality that Black Americans are moving with right now, it cannot be stopped. All right. As much as people want to distract, like I said, Black Americans stay focused. We have actual real business to attend to, and we don't have any time to be waiting on people who ain't trying to move us forward. If you aren't, get out the way. It's cool. Get out the way, man. We'll be all right. Straight up. We'll be cool. We're good. Straight up.
Right. You might run a liberator like Harris Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. And if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought should be acting like pigs, just acting like people and moving on pigs. And that's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about Bobby, regardless of what these people think we should do.
You cannot be afraid, okay? You cannot be afraid to take care of your communities. You cannot be afraid to stay in the pocket. You cannot be afraid to fight for what you believe in. And that's just literally, like I said, the difference with the mentality of Black Americans and everyone else. We stayed in the pocket. We have a different makeup. How we think about things, the things that we want to do is how we're going to do it. Hey, salute, Randall Robinson. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for pulling up, man. Thank you for joining the chat. And yeah, man, it's real talk out here, because when you're thinking about that fighter spirit that everyone talks about, Black Americans embodied that. Right? And you got to think Fred Hampton, as young as he was, man, as eloquent as his brother was, listen to how he was talking, man. Just listen to this. I'm going to bring this all the way back, because this was just such a good part of this speech that he made, man. Listen to this, y'all.
Bobby Seale is going through all types of physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution.
Not right. Never.
You might run a liberator like Harris Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. And if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer, come up with conclusions that don't conclude.
That part. And that's a part I think it goes over a lot of people's head, is that at the end of the day, as many people as they've taken out, as many Black Americans as they've taken out who have tried to change what's been going on with the white supremacist mindset that happens here in the US, right? And worldwide, you feel me? The anti-Blackness, the anti-Black American mentality that's taken over the world. Black Americans continue to fight against that, right? Every single day. And like I said, a lot of us, they don't really understand that we have the endurance to keep going. We're not going to let you guys just say whatever about us. We're not going to let you guys just try to play with us. Because once again, we stand on business every single time. I don't know what's wrong with people. Like, it's very interesting to see, though, from the outlook, right? How people can just forget so quickly, right? But that's why I'm making sure that I'm using my platform to bring back these archives, making sure that we are reacting to real, actual words from the real, actual person, right? We can't get it misconstrued here. You can hear it for yourself, right? It's like going back in history. And that's what I think a lot of people need. A lot of people need to study their history. And a lot of people need to understand what the mentality is, what it takes to be able to change a nation, to be able to build your nation and rebuild your nation. It takes mentalities like this. Word.
You come up with people that you thought should be acting like pigs, just acting like people and moving on pigs, and that's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about Bobby, regardless of what these people think we should do. Because school is not important and work is not important. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all.
How crazy is it to think that this was in 1967? Word. And he's talking about fascism, and we're still dealing with fascists right now. You got guys like Nick Fuentes who are over here literally saying that he is a neo-Nazi in 2025. And this was in 1968. He's talking about anti-fascism. Can you guys imagine how long it has been and how long this fight has been? And we're still talking about the same things today. We have a fascist president right now. And you got to think, all right, cool. So why aren't things changing? But then we have to explain this every single time. And that's why I make it very clear that history is important, and it's important to study the history, because if you do not history, you are failed to repeat it. Listen to this again, just so you guys can understand.
Explain, you come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought should be acting like pigs, just acting like people and moving on pigs. And that's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about Bobby, regardless of what these people think we should do. Because school is not important and work is not important. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all.
Understand. Understand that this is the mentality that is still congruent today. All right, we're still fighting fascism in 2025. And I have to go on here on these stupid internet forums, listening to people try to say that racism doesn't exist and that Black Americans are complaining that we're delusional about what's happening in this world, when we're literally on repeat, y'all. It's a freaking loop. We're stuck in a time loop. And these fools don't want to wake up and start moving forward. They want to move backwards. They want to make America great again, but that means that it comes at the expense of Black Americans. And that's everybody. That's everyone. Everyone wants it to be at the expense of Black Americans. But unfortunately, the Most High will not allow it. You feel me? The children of Judah, we can never.
But the state's attorney and the state's attorney's office has reasons to see Fred Hampton in jail. We've got a new state's attorney, you see. And he said already what he thought about people that had different political beliefs than he had.
Listen, man, we talked about this. They cried. They mourned for Charlie Kirk, right? They talked about, oh my gosh, it was a conspiracy. Something happened to him. And then they just ignore all of the pain and suffering that Black American leaders have taken. How many of our leaders have been assassinated, whether have been inside the organizations or ambushed, like the young brother Fred Hampton. Okay, so when I try to really get people to understand that, like, yo, like when you guys talk to Black Americans, like you guys are talking to people who understand history. We're not just coming from a place of out of nowhere, oh, we just feel this way because of this or that. Like, no, history has shown us, okay, what happens to powerful Black American men if they stand up against the white power structure. Okay, and so when we see that, what do you think that means? What do you think that says, right? There's a mentality of buck breaking that comes not only physically, but psychologically over generations that they try to put on top of Black American men, especially ones with power and influence, right? In order for you to reach a certain level, you're going to have to play the game. In order for you to reach a certain level, you're going to have to either sell, right, or be sold. All right. And so when you look at these type of mentalities and you look at these people, you have to be careful about that, because when you think about it from this perspective, right? Fred Hampton, this young, was already privy to how the system was setting up him to ultimately his demise. Unfortunately, it's so sad.
His speeches sound somewhat like those of Hitler, and we know why he wants to see Fred Hampton put in jail. Why do I have a lot of arrests? Because of harassment. Why is that harassment? Because the people that harass me have set up a problem that made me disagree with them violently, and they set up this problem in order to exploit me and other people like me.
Listen, man, and that will go over a lot of people's head, right? The systemic problem that they have created and putting it on our shoulders to solve it, which we always do. But what happens when we start to? They start to pull you down. They start to put all these tricks in front of you. They start to put all these hurdles. They start to infiltrate your organizations, sabotaging you, making it hard for you to be able to make progress on your plans. This is what he's talking about, right? When he's saying these type of things, right? They're exploiting him. They're harassing him. How could you harass someone who's trying to feed his community? How could you harass someone who is trying to take care and protect his community? A young man at this time, okay? A young man, probably at 19, 20 years old, creating a food program for the youth, for his community. He's going out here protecting his community, making sure that the police are not profiling and harassing Black Americans. Okay? And he's the one being harassed. He's the one being pressed. He's the one that they're trying to put in jail. How does that make sense? And like I said, the experience, right, that Black American men have gone through, right, fighting the good fight. And the fact that we have so many people who have tried to downplay that experience. These people literally were sacrificing their life. He didn't have to do this. Fred Hampton could have went and worked a regular job and just checked out like most Black American men do. But he didn't do that. He stood in the pocket. He said, no, I got a responsibility to my people and my community. And he went out there and put his life on the line, literally died for it. And so when I see people who try to downplay and try to disregard, this man died at 21 years old. He didn't even get to see his life fulfilled. He didn't even get to see his dreams fulfilled. And so I got to deal with a lot of people on this internet talking these crazy stuff about Black Americans every single day. What's wrong with these people, y'all? I don't know what the heck is wrong with them. I don't know what the obsession is, but I tell you what, I'm going to continue to make sure that I bring back the people who paved the way for us, so y'all do not forget what they did for us. The sacrifice that Fred Hampton made for me and for all my Black American people. I will never let you guys forget that. Damn right. You're crazy if you think I'm ever going to let y'all forget about what Fred Hampton did for us. The ultimate sacrifice that he made somebody try to say that Black Americans have no culture. What do you mean? We are an extremely cultured people. Those who fight for what we believe in, those who stand on morals, those who have a backbone, those who stand up against fascism. That's the culture of Black Americans, straight up.
And why they want to get rid of me? Because I'm saying something that might wake up some other exploited people,
Make sure
some
you
other
guys like
people,
subscribe,
and all
man.
these people ever get together, then these pigs that are exploiting us, we'll be able to run them into the lake. That's why they want to get rid of us. And it's just, it's sort of like a primary thing with me. I'm the first move that they'll make. I'm a part of the organization. It'll be the first organization they'll move on because I happen to be a part of the organization, the Blackpanthers Party. That is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we don't care what anybody says, whether they have guns or not, and badges or 18 uniforms. If whenever they step outside the bounds of legality into the bounds of illegality, then we'll blow their brains out. If they're
Man, listen, that is the threat right there, okay? Whether it was whatever you wanted to do, we gonna do it. It's whatever. That's the difference. Like I said, that's the difference between Black Americans and everybody else, all right? Our mentality was different, okay? We didn't look at, the white establishment as something to admire and look up to because we knew the true nature of them. We've been around them for 400 years and we tried to tell everybody who they are and what they do and how they get down. And they chose not to listen. So guess what? You F around and you find out. So now a lot of people are finding out and now they're trying to say, oh yeah, Black Americans, y'all was right. Actually, yeah, really, that's what, man, I gotta give it to you guys. Yeah, too late though. Too late. And now all of us got to suffer because y'all didn't listen, because your own ego and silly mentality that you want to hold on to that's dying every single day. All right. The population of white Americans is dying rapidly, and that is making them uncomfortable. Right. And on top of that, Black Americans are taking back our identity. We are not allowing people to tell us who we are. We're not allowing people to continue to gaslight us. And we are not trying to play the nice guy no more. All right. We ain't looking for nobody approval no more, y'all. Those days are over. All right. Us going around trying to appease everybody else. Those days are over. OK, now it's 100% focused on Black American business. And that's it. If you're not on that, get out the way. Straight up, because guys like Fred Hampton died for us to be where we are right now. He stood in the pocket against fascism and all of the white establishment to make it clear that he was willing to go there. All right, listen.
Be the first organization they'll move on because I happen to be a part of the organization, the Blackpanthers Party. That is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we don't care what anybody says, whether they have guns or not, and badges or 18 uniforms. If whenever they step outside the bounds of legality into the bounds of illegality, then we'll blow their brains out if they bother the people. And what makes them mad about that? They're constantly bothering the people. Anybody that's out there for the protection of the people happens to be in direct conflict with them.
That part, all right? Antagonizing the people. How do we know that's still happening today? Okay, the police have been militarized. They're terrorizing the youth, okay? People right now, all right? Black Americans constantly having to be pulled over and harassed, all right? Me riding around in my nice car getting pulled over for what? For what? You know why. but they like to say, oh yeah, just a routine check.
What makes them mad about it? What makes them mad about it is that they have Black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descent. They had them caught up in movements based on racism when the Blackpanthers Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think you fight fire with fire best. We think you fight fire with water best. We're going to fight racism, not from racism, but we're going to fight in solidarity.
That's what it is. Black American way, okay? We're not going to fight racism with racism. We fight racism with solidarity. All right? Black people coming together, Black people working together, Black people investing in one another. And like he said, all the other groups, y'all wasn't catching up. This is in 1968, okay? Everybody else was not catching up to this. We were the ones, all right? We were the ones setting the precedent and pushing it forward, okay? And investing and putting within ourselves. And they didn't like that. So they had to destabilize an establishment and also a movement that the Black Panthers were a part of, pushing forward the narrative for Black Americans in our community, taking care of our own, making sure that we was fed when we didn't have no food, making sure that we was protected when the police are constantly policing our neighborhoods for no reason, harassing us, regular, everyday people, working class humans, all right? You guys like to say, oh yeah, it's the hood, you know, people's gonna know, all right? In the 60s, a lot of these neighborhoods were well-to-do, working Black families, all right? They were being harassed for no reason, just because they were Black, all right? And the fact that a lot of these people who come over here and they don't understand the overall racial dynamics and the history of the overall white construct that we have here, the fact that people just openly ignore it, I have to bring the receipts. That's what we do at Elite Media. We bring the receipts so that y'all understand this ain't nothing new. We've been dealing with this for a long time, all right? Our leaders being targeted and harassed for helping our communities.
We said we're not going to fight capitalism with Black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. We still said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state's attorneys like this and reactionary state's attorneys like Hammerhand with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions with all of those people to get together and have an international 4chan revolution. Right on. Right on. And that's saying all power to the people. Right on. That's saying that no matter what color you are, you're learning two classes. And that's saying there's a class over here and there's a class over there. And the reason that this class over here has never did anything to get this class off his back, because this is lower, this is upper, this is the oppressed, this is the oppressor, this is the exploited, this is the exploiter. And these people in this class have divided themselves. They say, I'm Black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate Black people. I'm Latin American and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we fight amongst each other. And you heard the testimony of pigs here, and you got pigs of all colors, you know that.
That's what's going on right now, right? We have to deal with not only Black Americans trying to do as much as we could to unite with everyone else, but everyone else turning their backs on us and choosing to assimilate to the white power structure. And that's why a lot of Black Americans are choosing to delineate and get away from that mentality, because at the end of the day, we try to make sure and build a bridge with those who came over here, but it just didn't happen. And so now a lot of Black Americans are choosing to move in a different direction. They are choosing to focus on just Black business. And that's all we can do now, right? Is make sure that we're focused on us and we're pushing our narrative forward. Because at the end of the day, Black Americans have a lot to fight for. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot in our path that we're trying to get to. And we don't have time to be occupied with other people who are going to be hating on that, and we're going to be stopping our progress on that. This is now time to lock in for Black Americans to stay focused. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I have videos right here on this channel, live streams, all that, where we're talking about Black Americans making sure they stay focused and making sure we're on the path to make sure that we are locked in with one another. What the plan is, what we're trying to do, all right? I'm here to make sure that I'm using my platform to connect and make sure I'm building. You feel me? And I make sure that you guys can subscribe to my channel. We're trying to grow every single day, man. It means a lot to me because we're trying to make sure that we're building within our Black American community. You feel me? And I'm really, really appreciative for everyone who's been, you know, giving great commentary in the comments. People have been really connecting with me behind the scenes. And it's been really, really great to have that energy and to see the positivity, you feel me, and the unity among Black Americans, man. It's something that, you know, I think we've been wanting and been learning for a long time. And unfortunately, sometimes it happens during very tragic times of the world. And I think right now we're going through probably a very dark time, and it's only going to get worse. But I think Black Americans have the right mentality. We're making sure that we're working together, we're focusing on one another, and we are not allowing any distractions to get in the way. And so that's why it's important for me to make sure that I continue to pay respect to the ancestors and the people who came before us, right? The ones who paved the way, the ones who did it right. You feel me? The ones who were there when, you know what I mean? When we were just getting things started. And so I have to start it the way that I ended it. You feel me? Because I'm on here for a quick second. But long live Fred Hampton. Long live the mentality of Fred Hampton. Long live his mentality through us as Black Americans, y'all. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, man. Make sure you guys continue to support. All right, we're trying to make it to 1,000 subs. We're halfway there. All right, we're halfway there. So I appreciate everyone who's subscribed, everybody who shows love and comes through and supports me. It's much, much appreciated, man, because we are building something very, very strong here. I've really, really taken a lot of time to make sure that I'm being meticulous in how I build this channel and the topics that I bring to the table, and making sure that I'm keeping fresh, cool, historical, reference topics that we can all come back to at some point. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, I definitely do see, there's, a lot of topics I could have talked about today. We could have went in on the Somalis, and we could have did a lot of that. Probably am going to go in on that at some point. But I'm also going to be me. And I don't follow all the trends of what everybody else talking about. I like to bring also different perspectives and different conversations to the table. And so I hope that the people who do subscribe to me and continue to support me like me because of that, because I bring something different to the table, right? I'm not just like everybody else. You know what I mean? I want to be able to bring those different topics and conversations to the table so that we can all kind of just enjoy, come through these references, come to these archives, pay our respects to people who have paved the way for us, and we can give that back through the content, right? So salute everybody who's came through, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Seriously, everyone who subscribes, everybody who shows love, it means so much to me. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subs. We're halfway there, man. Just make sure you guys continue to show love, man. My name's Brandon B. I'm from Elite Media, man, and I'm out. Peace.